Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV, and we're here for the weekend review to the F1 round 16 of the FIA Formula One Championship in 2021, the Turkish Grand Prix. Yes, how are we all doing this evening? Right, obviously, this afternoon, sorry, we just had the Grand Prix. Hamilton finishing fifth, the two rivals fifth. Hamilton fifth and Max Verstappen in second, which means Max Verstappen now takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship by 7 points. So there's another new leader in the championship. He retakes the lead. So let's break it down. Let's go down to obviously the start of the weekend. We found out Lewis Hamilton was going to take a 10-place grid penalty for taking an extra internal combustion engine, which is one of the parts needed for the power unit, because there's 6 parts to a whole power unit, and he exceeded that, so he had to take an extra penalty. So big up Luca, 7 points. I don't know what's so funny about it, mate. 7 points. Like, that's the difference between first and second. So if Hamilton wins the next race and Max Verstappen would come second, right, and there's 6 rounds to go, then it's a level on points again. And if Hamilton gets the fastest lap in that Grand Prix, he goes ahead by 1 point. So, like, I don't know what you're laughing about, but there you go. But anyway, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. If you can watch it on YouTube, it'd be much appreciated. It really would help, because obviously we make our monetization money for the charity via YouTube. So if you could do that, it'd be really, really appreciated. But anyway, like I was saying, he would take a 10-place grid penalty as usual. Because of this internal combustion engine, and like, he qualified on pole, so he had started 11th. So it's the best he could hope for. And when we started the Grand Prix, kept himself out of trouble, maintained his position, but stayed out of trouble, unlike Fernando Alonso, who ended up spinning. But he was the early pace setter. He was far quicker than everyone else on the intermediate tyre. He was making it work and storming through the field. And at one point, it looked like if it carried on, he could easily catch up to Verstappen and the front runners. Though he'd already gone down by 17 seconds behind them, obviously because of traffic, he managed to claw his way back up to about behind Perez, which was 5th place. And it looked pretty good for Hamilton to keep going on. And he was closing Perez down. But obviously, as the tyres kept going, it was really weird conditions today because it was wet weather intermediates at the start, no doubt. But no matter what happened, the tyres, it was kind of like last year where the track was too greasy for slicks, but it was causing too much heat for the intermediates to stay, meaning they'd had to get so much water offline. So it was like they couldn't make it work on slicks, but then the intermediates were like not really working that much better either. And actually staying on worn slicks was like last year, like Hamilton did, stayed on worn slicks was the way to go. And someone called it like last season the interslicks, like the bit in between. And it was kind of like that, where drivers were trying to make it last on them. But in the end, obviously everyone had to make a pit stop in the end. Now, this is where I get a little bit peed off with Mercedes. The reason I get pissed off with Mercedes here is because they pitted Bottas, obviously, and pitted Verstappen, which maintained them 2 positions. But Hamilton decided he was going to stay out a lot longer. Now, I'm sorry, to be honest, Bono, and I played it in the watch along, the recording of Hamilton's audio radio, which was that he was not like the new intermediate was the way to go. Why didn't they just force him into, no, you've got to pit, we are significantly slower, and he could have had a chance of catching Vettel and Leclerc. He got stuck behind Leclerc in the end, but he could have had a chance of catching both. They should have, as soon as Perez pitted, they should have pitted. Simple as that. That's, for me, what he should have done. But they didn't, and they tried to make it last and last, and in the end, he was lucky he didn't concede 5th place to Gasly behind in 6th and Norris in 7th. He was very lucky because the problem is that they made it last so long that when they put new intermediates on, it was like last season when Lance Stroll put intermediates on, he lost all rear grip because they couldn't make them work because it was burning them up. Same as like when Hamilton did it, he was starting to struggle with rear end grip. Same as Leclerc. Leclerc took so long to pit. He tried to make the tyres last all race so he could win the race. As soon as Bottas passed him, he pitted. And then he had no rear grip. And it looks like Hamilton could have got past him. But Max Verstappen had a quiet race in 2nd. Came out 2nd after turn 1 and pretty much stayed there for the entire race. Bottas with a comfortable lights to flag my victory. Obviously losing one, obviously dropping it to Leclerc, but obviously Leclerc, he ended up overtaking him and regaining pole position and then winning the race. So easy win for Bottas pretty much in the end. And Max Verstappen towards the end, I thought there was going to be I did think his car might have been starting to break down because he came on the radio saying there was a problem with his steering, and every time he was driving, the steering was getting worse and worse and worse. So what I was thinking is he actually starting to have a problem? And it did look like Hamilton was catching him for a brief second, but it ended up like it didn't. So, and he managed to manage it. So he came 2nd. Leclerc with Perez with a strong drive got himself back up to 3rd. Leclerc had a great race. I'll give you the official timing screens now, actually, because it's still got the live time in here. So I'll give you the timing screens now. So Bottas obviously got fastest lap here. Max Verstappen in 2nd. Perez in 3rd. Charles Leclerc in 4th. Great race by him. Hamilton in 5th. Gasly 6th. Norris 7th. Sainz 8th. Sainz had a good race, carving his way through the field. He had to start towards the back of the field, so he did a very good job in this Grand Prix. Stroll 15th. Ricciardo got himself up to 13th on the back of the grid. Who else was towards the back of the grid? I don't think there was many others, to be honest. Let me have a look. Who is also at the back of the grid? I can also have a look on here. Carlos Sainz. Not anyone else that I know of. No, that was it. Those are the only 2. Sebastian Vettel, he made a big mistake. He tried to gamble on slicks, trying to see if the track was going to be dry enough for slicks. But in the end, he wasn't really. See, in the end, it was too slippery for slicks, and he was sliding off the road and falling off it. And then he spun also in the pit entry as well to try and get back onto intermediate. So that ruined his race. So, but it was worth. I think in the position he was in, he was out the point. He was out of position anyway, down in the bottom half of the bottom half of the grid. So it was worth the risk. So and it didn't work. So there we are. Ocon, he did the whole Grand Prix without making a pit stop. And he finished 10th in the end. So, but yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed with his pit strategy, because Hamilton's pit strategy, they should have acted a lot earlier when everyone else was pitting. I think he would have been able to still finish 3rd if they actually did it when everyone else decided to box for ins. You know, I just didn't get it. So that's the one disappointing thing for me, and it really does wind me up. It really, really does wind me up. But there we go. You know, Yeah. Yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. But Bottas finally gets his first win this season. I think he'll be happy with, and he stops Max Verstappen getting another 7 points as well, which would increase it to 14 points in the championship. So at least that's one thing as well. And fair play to Bottas because he's been getting a lot of criticism as well. So have a race like that as well. He did have one little moment, but then that was it. To be honest, it wasn't really too much of a moment. But there you go. So I'm gonna move on to the ratings. I'm gonna do the ratings so far. I'll go through every driver as we go. So let me get the drivers' ratings up. Let's have a look. Right, I'm gonna quickly. Yeah, get rid of the Max Verstappen and Horner level, shall we? Right, let's have a look. So, gonna go from back to front. So I'm gonna start. Who finished 20th? Mazepin. Mazepin. The only reason he qualified, he qualified. He basically qualified in 20th and finished 20th. So trash as usual, just trash, absolute trash. Where is Nikita Mazepin? There he is. Just stick him there, shall we? Just like, and to be honest, in the race as well, what I didn't like, he nearly did another carbon copy of what like David Coulthard did to Michael Schumacher in '98 in Belgium, right? Hamilton trying to get past him, nearly looked like lifting off like he was going to let him through, and then cut across the front of him in turn 11, nearly taking Hamilton's nose off, right? The guy's a liability. He was constantly told like 3, 4 times to let people let him through, and then tries and does that to him. It's absolutely like ridiculous. Even Hamilton threw his hand up in disgust about it. So yeah, so the guy's an idiot. Like the guy's an absolute liability. Like a bit like some people, bit like some people want to do F1 watch-alongs. There you go. Mitch Schumacher. He had a just a quiet race. It was poor in the end. He's Grand Prix, but he started well. He got himself. Do you know what? Actually, no, I can't because we're going on the weekend value here, and I've got to give the car was always going to struggle to keep up, keep everyone behind, and it didn't in the end. But the reason he gets a good, he managed to get a two in the dry, by the way, not wet, the dry, and he managed to get um the Haas into Q2, which is I think is an unbelievable achievement. How has he done that? I don't know. So he gets that than he. And I'm just gonna put Hash in extremely poor. Right, the only reason they don't get trash is because they managed to get Schumacher that I'll put bang average. So yeah, I'm gonna go for what next? Who am I going for next? Sebastian Vettel. Vettel. It was doing so well. Then it turned to trash. It turned to trash. It fell apart big style. Like don't know what he was doing. But there you go. Uh go to Latifi. Latifi. Just very poor. Just not great. Just poor from him. George Russell. No, it's Alonso. Alonso spun out by Gasly. Do you know what? Like, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Like, And I want people to answer it right now, actually. So I'm going to quickly put this in the chat. Give me 2 seconds. Just going to quickly listen to this. Like, did Gasly deserve a penalty for his Alonso? Let me just put that in there to see what you think, guys. See what you think, guys. So, sorry, I'll screw that up. Right, let me try that again. Right. Try and end it. I'm not doing very well here. Sorry, my bad. My bad. I'm screwing it up. I'm screwing it up. I'm screwing it up. Hit that like button, please. Right. Right. Right, let me try it again. That's it. That's what I wanted. There you go. Right. Please go and answer that for me. It's really important you do so. Right. I'm going to quickly jump on that. Yeah, I don't think, I think that's harsh for Gasly. But Alonso didn't really recover well either. So, poor in the end. So, yeah, I'm going to go to... What am I going to go to next? George Russell. George Russell was a poor performance by his standards. I usually expect better from him. So, poor. There's usually does a lot better. A lot better. So, let me have a look. Yuki Tsunoda. Spinoda just was extremely poor. Like, the only reason he doesn't get trashed is because it was a complete disaster. But yeah, it was poor. Right. But to be fair, like Hamilton's overtake around the outside of turn 3, there were some overtakes in that season. Like there was in that race, there were some overtakes by Hamilton that were just breathtaking. Down the underside of turn 3 by around Stroll and also Tsunoda as well. It was beautiful overtake, well executed. So and people saying he can't race, but there you go. We're going to quickly move on to Daniel Ricciardo. Danny Rick. Danny Rick. Did okay. Fought himself up to 13th. Nothing special, but did okay, I'd say. Raikkonen, 12th. Where did they start in... where did they start? They started 17th and it was a poor weekend for, I think, poor weekends for both Alpha drivers to me. So 10 was Ocon. And by the way, can you give me your rating for what did you rate the weekend? How did you rate the Grand Prix? Was it an 8 out of 10, a 6 out of 10, 4 out of 10? How did you rate that as a Grand Prix? Did you enjoy that Grand Prix, or was it a boring Grand Prix? Boring is 0. Unbelievable Grand Prix is 10. So there we are. So I just want to quickly look at Ocon. Managed to stay 10th despite not pitting once. Right, it's not a bad drive. Bit of bang average, I'd say. A 6. So moving to the top 10, Lance Stroll. Did well. He did okay. Average performance, getting 9th. So yeah, not too bad. Carlos Sainz. I think he had a good drive, getting himself back up to 8th. A very good drive there by Carlos Sainz. Lando Norris. It's been a quiet weekend for Norris, I think. It's been an okay weekend. It's been average. It's not been great, I'd say. Pierre Gasly has had a good weekend. Very good weekend for me. Very good. Right. Can't get much better than that in an AlphaTauri. Lewis Hamilton. Sir Lewis Hamilton, where are we going to put you? Got pole position, despite obviously taking a penalty, obviously. Fought himself up to third at one point, but the strategy let him down. I put a good performance. Like, you get pole position as well. You couldn't really do much more than he did. Leclerc had, I think, very strong race, a very good race, despite staying out so long. So you got to give him that very good performance. Then moving into the top three, then we got Perez. Perez for me was again a very good performance. Can't expect nothing less. Same with Max Verstappen and Bottas for me, second, first in the end. Faultless race. Didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, for me, like, you can't really fault Bottas. Actually, I would put Carlos Sainz up there because he did recover really well. And he did get driver of the day in the end. So let me know if you disagree or agree with any of these ratings, by the way. Let me know because I want to know. Then we're going to move on to the teams. Alfa Romeo. It was poor. Williams. Let me have a look at Williams. It was again same as Alfa Romeo, poor. Then I'm gonna move on to AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri had a good week. It would have been a good weekend if it weren't for Sonoda. It's a bang average. If it weren't for Sonoda, that was. Alpine, okay, not great. Aston Martin sort of flopped on the Vettel strategy, to be honest. So I'll give them a poor. Then I'm gonna start with the battle for third. Ferrari, very, very good performance in the race. Very good performance. McLaren, I'd have to say, actually, to be honest, a poor weekend actually for McLaren. The reason I say poor is I expect a lot better from them, a lot better. So there you go. I'm gonna start with also Red Bull. Top class weekend, can't fault them. And Mercedes, I'm gonna put them in good because they really screwed up on Hamilton's strategy. So I only give them a good. They really did. They weren't great on the Hamilton strategy. Big up Ryan in the chat. I hope you're well, mate. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Really important you do so. Tomorrow we're going back to some football streaming, I'm hoping. I don't know what streams I'm doing yet. I'll have to let everyone know. But yeah, I've got to sort those streams out actually. So I actually got a dip in a minute. I've got a dip in a minute. But there you go. But I'm going to, yeah. That's my ratings. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Obviously, next race up, it will be, right, just look at season so far. Schedule. So the next race is in the United States Grand Prix. The United States Grand Prix. Now, right, what's going to happen in the United States Grand Prix? Now, that is a hot spot for Hamilton. Happy hunting ground for Hamilton. He won his championship in 2015 there, in 2019 there. He's won in 2012. 2014, he's won there. Did he win in 2016? I don't think he won in 2016. beat GP. Oh no, he did win there. So he did win in there. Yeah, so he's won. So let me think. He's won United States Grand Prix. The last Grand Prix was 2019. That was won by Bottas. 2018 was won by Raikkonen. But if we look at it since its inception in 2012, Hamilton won in 2012, his first one, since it was restarted. 2013 was Vettel. 14 was Hamilton, so that's twice. 15 was Hamilton. 16 was Hamilton. 17 was Hamilton. 18 was Raikkonen. 19 was Bottas. So so 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. So out of 8 times, Hamilton's won their 5. So yeah, big. Yeah, we got Burnley next. Oh, you should pass Burnley easily. But that's football, and that's a different stream altogether. But yeah, like happy hunting ground for Hamilton there. So I'm looking forward to that Grand Prix. I think Mercedes will do well there. But yeah, it was an interesting Grand Prix, to be honest. Just how the conditions is that the conditions getting drier and drier, but it was just never dry enough for slicks or grippy enough for slicks. I think it was more. It wasn't grippy enough. It was just not like it didn't. It was just like more greasy rather than an actual dry. So yeah, so interesting. But anyway, we're gonna have to leave it there. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, please. Really important you do that. It's really important you do that. So make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe. And we're back tomorrow at some point with another stream. I think at 6 p.m. If I'm not, I'll let you know. But until then, everyone stay safe, stay well, guys. Right, and we will all see you tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.